Yeah, we call it a foundation builder. A lot of very good work has been put in, but the work will serve as a foundation rather than as a benchmark, because a benchmark is something you aspire to, and sometimes when you achieve the benchmark, you're satisfied with what you've achieved. But the reality is, apart from winning the league, we are not entirely satisfied with the season. Even in the league, we do feel that we could have done a lot better. We could have won some of the games that we drew, and maybe we shouldn't have lost the Chiefs match because of the way we had performed and the chances that we created. And in retrospect, even when you do analysis, you see how clear it is for us to be able to improve certain aspects of our game so that we can improve certain results. But it's about the process, and the first layer has been laid, where we've built a very good foundation in terms of how we want to play, and I think that now then becomes the yardstick, and we have to build from that. Yeah, the COVID situation has made it extremely difficult for leaders, and I think in general, post COVID, I expect to see a bit of documentation that comes out with research to check how different coaches, different managers have dealt with the COVID situation, because unlike many other seasons where you would probably want to have a smaller Nyana squad, you are then forced to have a lot of players in your squad, and try to make those players and all of those players happy, because all the players are top players. With their own individual qualities, they could easily play for any of the other 15 teams in the league and start and help those teams to win games. And that's the quality that we have at Mamelodi Sundowns. The blessing of having that comes with the burden of trying to make all these players happy. Fortunately for us, we've had situations where players are unavailable due to COVID and suspension, and then we've had to dig into the personnel. And fortunately, whoever you play at Mamelodi Sundowns, the standard and the quality is the same, and the expectations therefore are for them to help the team to win matches. So the difficulty of that season allowed us to be able to retain a bigger squad than what we would normally have to keep. But let's see how it goes next season, and the lessons that we've learned will probably help us in the future. Yeah, no one must fool you. It's extremely difficult to work with us. I can just imagine how difficult it is to work with me. I can just imagine how difficult it must be for Coach Mangob and Coach Steve to work with me. But I also know how difficult it is for me to work with them. It's not easy. But I think the maturity, the level of respect, and also understanding each other's strengths allows us to be able to put Mamelodi Sundowns first. If we do not serve the club with the utmost humility and we put ourselves first, we're going to have problems. And humility is exactly that. Humility is not to think less of yourself, but to think less about yourself. And every day we drive into Clorkop, the mentality is to think less about yourself, is to always try to say to yourself, regardless of how you feel, what is best for Mamelodi Sundowns. And I think every single day that's what we try to strive for. The question I always ask myself is this what is best for Mamelodi Sundowns? If it is, then that's what we should be doing. And that's the most important part of this shared leadership portfolio that we carry, apart from a commonality in terms of the vision and the way we want the team to play. We are not far off each other in terms of those ideas. But of course, There's a lot of other dynamics, and it's not always easy to come to a common goal or common target. But that's how it is, even in any other technical team with a different structure, like we had with Coach Pizzo before, and it was myself and Coach Mangoba supported. We still had three coaches, and three coaches with opinions on how things should be done. But we managed to work very well together, and I think so far this season we've overcome a lot of obstacles, and I can gladly say that we stand with righteousness, with dignity and respect, because that's what we've shown to each other, that's what we've shown to the players, and that's what we've shown to our supporters and the entire Mamelodi Sundowns, where we've carried ourselves the entire season as the leaders with integrity and selflessness, and that was very important for us. Yeah, when you speak about the technical team, you first also have to recognize the contributions of the medical department, Dr. Carl, Dr. Paul. They've been exceptional. Our biokineticists, Stuart and Tato Santos, very thorough in terms of their analysis of injuries and the way to work around trying to get the players as quickly back as possible to fast track the return to play protocol. You also have to speak about our masseurs and recovery guys, Abo Tasso, and Abo Saki, Abo Godfather. These are the people that make sure that the rehabilitation process, the recovery process of the players is proper, particularly with the program that we always have. It's not easy to play Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday every month, but we've got the best in the business, and it's the best in the business that allows us to be able to have the best players on the pitch. And when we have our best players on the pitch, we give ourselves an opportunity and a chance at least to be able to win the games. But you go even beyond. You've got your security staff, Charlie, Colin. You've got your kitchen staff, also Aurelia in the kitchen. You've got your ground staff, about Joseph, about everybody. You know, you can go on. You've got the president, the chairman. So this is the support structure that we have. Shupi, from a communications and marketing space. You know, every single department at Mamelodi Sundowns functions for the betterment of the club. It is one thing to have a strong team, but it's another thing to have a strong club. And when you have a strong club, it then puts boundaries and protection layers around the team, because then the team is able to focus on getting the best results as possible. And the department of the analysis, where you've got Mario, Gulam, Dale, and now we've added Usbu, is the think tank of the institution. Exceptional with how thorough they try to dig in terms of opposition analysis and profiling. Particularly when you speak to the space of Gulam for the international space, and even for the team performance, and that's his biggest strength. Gulam is able to say, this is where we are, this is where we want to go, but to get there, these are some of the parameters that we've got to look to improve. Mario and Dale work on the opposition analysis space, where they check the analysis of the games of the last couple of opponents of our next opponent, and profile them to give us as much information to prepare the players for that. And it's such an important part of modern football, that because I always say that preparation eliminates fear. When you can eliminate fear from the players, you then give them the confidence to be able to give their best on the pitch and help the team to win the game. And then, of course, this new trend of having data analysts and crunching numbers to try to be as objective as possible, and Smoo does that for us. We look at the opposition with the video. When we watch the games, we watch 3, 4, 5 games, and then we get what we call a data report that we try to make a comparative sort of analysis. We look and say, what does the footage tell us that the data doesn't tell us? And what does the data tell us that the footage may not tell us? And for an example, we've seen for Cape Town City how when we played them in the first match, they could average 110 passes before getting into your opposition box. They could average maybe 18 seconds before a goal on average. And now with one match, just before we played them, the match against Black Leopards, you could see already that the data was telling you that the team is a very transitional team. And then you closely try to look at the footage of Black Leopards, and you see the chances that they were created in 10, 12 seconds. Cape Town City with Rulani, with Fakri Lake are in your box already. And before, they would be a little bit more patient on the ball, go through Mokeke a few times for the rotation, try to find Mpomakola and Nodada before trying to engage the line of Kemet, of Rulani, of Craig Martin. But what they have now is something that could only be highlighted by data, because you couldn't find enough of that in the game against Black Leopards, except a couple of moments where they played on the transition and created the chances. But that's how data helps you, and data also helps you with recruitment. We try to look at where we are in terms of our players, our centre backs, our goalkeepers, our midfielders, our fullbacks, our strikers, and we set individual KPIs, which are key performance indicators. And we try to make sure over the course of the season, we analyze every 2 matches, 3 matches, depending on the space that we have. What is the progress? What is the regress? Where are the individual players in relation to these key performance indicators that we set up? For an example, for fullbacks, could be the number of final third entries. It could be the number of crosses. For the strikers, it could be the number of chances created, number of individual chances created for himself, and even in relation to the number of shots taken, the number of shots taken that are on target. So all these things are things that we always look at, and we try to improve and objectively try to conscientize our players and the team about which areas we want to improve. So data analysis has become a big phenomenon in the game at the moment, and it's good to see that we've taken that also on, and to be honest, it's helped us make a lot of very good decisions, because it's very difficult to beat science. Yeah. No, of course, the game belongs to the players. I've always been one to say how the game is about the players, and I remember even Marcelo Lippi saying the same thing to me in 2010 when I asked him what makes a good coach, and he said good players. So a lot of credit needs to go to our fantastic group of players. I mean, you enjoy coming to work every single day. You enjoy learning, because you learn so that you can then teach, and they stimulate you. They stimulate you to become a better coach, and we just want to take this moment to appreciate them, to thank them for their efforts, their selflessness, and their respect, and buying into the ideas and the concepts that we've had, and even stimulating us to think outside the box and come up with bigger and different ideas to try to improve the product. And it's only a pleasure to work with the Sundowns players. And my message to the Yellow Nation is thank you. We miss you. We miss you, and we hopefully will have you at the stadium singing and chanting for us. We love the atmosphere and the vibes that you create, and we appreciate all the love and the support, and hopefully you'll be there with us next season, lifting more trophies and celebrating with us on the pitch.